Colby and Chris, screen time.
Hey everybody, it's Colby here, and welcome back to PrizeCast. I'm very excited to have Chris Evans back here with me today, and we're going to be doing another episode of Screen Time to talk about a very, very special show called Upload. Hey Chris, how you doing?
Good, man. I wrote us a jingle for our show.
You wrote a jingle? I want to hear it.
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
Colby and Chris, screen time.
I love that. That's perfect. That's going to be our intro. I want to do that now. People are going to be so confused, and then they'll see this, and then they'll know. I love that. That's amazing. You totally threw that.
There's
to me out of
7
the
other
blue.
verses, but that's the hook.
I love it. That's amazing. We gotta write the whole song and then use it for the outro.
Yeah. Look for our EP dropping this fall.
Oh man. How you doing, man?
Good, man. Just surviving the pandemic, the civil unrest, and how are you doing?
Same thing, just trying to take it one day, 1 year at a time, pretty much. So that's all I can do. So
Well,
yeah.
that we've talked about doing different YouTube stuff in years past, and now that you're involved with PrizeCast, it's like never before have we been watching more stuff. So, for us to come up with a little YouTube bit about us and the stuff we watched, it seems like a great time to be doing that.
Absolutely. It's very apropos, and I think like it's so much content, watching so much content. We just finally started watching Fleabag. We've been watching so much stuff on Netflix, and it's been really good. So much stuff that it's like hard figure out what to talk about. So I'm really excited to talk about Upload with you finally. It's a great show, and it's just been so much content. So I think we have a pretty good list of things we could talk about from here until the end of the year at least. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, an Upload was recommended to us by one of our viewers on a previous episode. Tiana Cannell recommended Upload, which is available on Amazon Prime. So let's get to it, man. What do you think?
So this is a show that I was not expecting to. I don't want to give any spoilers away yet, but it's not. I wasn't expecting to feel how I feel about it. Like for all of the other screen times we've done, we've pretty much given glowing reviews of shows, but Upload's not going to be one of those. It's not. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but it's not going to be the same thing as what we talked about. So and if you don't recall, Upload is about a guy named played by Robbie Amell. Who ends up dying and getting his mind digitally uploaded into a server, which is in this world, people can live forever in a way. It's supposed to be their mind is going on to live in a computer. So it's across, of different sci-fi concepts such as like The Matrix, or what am I thinking of? The Matrix. It's a pretty out there sci-fi concept, but it's a very interesting one, and it's an Amazon original. But it's actually the first Amazon original show that I've watched through to completion. At least it's only one season, but yeah. Have you seen any others?
I don't even know. Sometimes I don't even watch them on that platform. But there's an interesting little caveat to what you said about, that future technology where, so in the show, you can choose to upload your consciousness, but you have to do it before you die.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you don't die and then they upload. It's like you can either die like everybody else in history or upload your consciousness just before you die. And so because of that, that's why we're in this crazy situation with a young guy who has been uploaded by his fiance, and so they can still have a life together, basically.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a very interesting setup because so he's about to die from a car accident that happens at the very beginning, and he's stuck with this choice: either get uploaded because it's a very expensive thing to be uploaded, and so it's a very reflective of our current society with pay as you go, pay to play type stuff, in-app purchases. So I think that's a very good thing that they cover. But so it's very expensive to get uploaded, and his fiance or his girlfriend has a lot of money, and she gives him this chance to be uploaded, which means that he is tethered to her for pretty much eternity. And it's a great premise to set someone up who's like, they thought they were just casually dating, and then he gets into this car accident and he's about to die. Now he's stuck with be with her forever or die. And that was a genius concept to come up with at the beginning, and it definitely set the course for everything that happens.
Do we really want to upload? We could be together forever.
You're so amazing. But forever is just like so long.
It really is. Like, the one thing this show has in spades is a great premise. You and I have talked about before, one of the things I love about shows is that imagine the future, but they show it to you in a way that feels very familiar. So, this near future where you're able to upload your consciousness and then continue life in a virtual, setting, feels very familiar, even though every episode is sort of marked by this neat thing about the future that you didn't think of, right? Like, there's always these little things that happen in the virtual world that you're like, oh yeah, I guess that's how it would be. So there's some really cool things that the show drops on you, in every episode. They're like, hey, I didn't think about that, but that's probably what it'll be like.
Absolutely. And from a filmmaking perspective, whenever you're writing something that takes place in the future, you have to make a really conscious effort of when you're going to set the time period, for your story, because that affects a lot of things. At the rate technology grows, in 100 years, the world's going to look a lot different than it does now. And that's just how it is, right? So with upload, whenever, they set the time period, a lot of the things that are in the show are incredibly advanced for right now, so far, so much that, this is technology that if it even ever exists, is at least 20 to 30 years down the road. However, with upload, they wanted to make it something, like you said, they wanted to make it relatable, something that kind of felt close to home. And they set it, I think the show takes place in like 2032 or something like that. It's really not very far from now, which I think was a smart decision, but also led to one thing that initially turned me off from the show at the very beginning. So when Taylor and I first started watching it, like I said, it's a very silly world. It's a world that we don't really recognize with the way the cars are moving around and certain things like pieces of technology. But the way the show kind of comes off is almost silly at first. I was like, we went in, we were expecting a dramatic comedy about, the future of getting yourself uploaded into a virtual space. And it is that, but the way that it handles its humor is something that we were definitely not expecting.
Well, at the end of the day, it's a romantic sitcom, right? It's a rom-com sitcom at the end of the day. So I think that comes across pretty clearly. Yeah, you're right. Like, you think, oh, this is a high concept futuristic adventure here, but really it's some silly humor, mixed with these clever ideas about the future. We keep talking about the main character is, uploaded at the very beginning of the series into this virtual space so he can continue with his fiance. But really, there's another character that is more central to the story, and that's his customer service representative. So in the same way that you buy a Verizon plan, the company in the show is Horizon, and you buy a Horizon upload plan. So once our main character gets uploaded, he has a customer service rep who is still a living, breathing person in the world that he has take care of his problems and whatever, and they become romantically linked. And that's where the conflict and the fun of the show starts, is you have a real life living and breathing human who's falling in love with a person who is virtual data at the end of the day. And so there's a lot of fun. There's a lot of humor. It's something that I would recommend. It's the show that you can turn off your brain and watch and enjoy and not have to think and follow too much and just, laugh. The female star of the show, Andy Allo, is a newcomer. She's actually a Cameroonian singer-songwriter who is acting in this show. And I didn't know it, but I was already familiar with some of her work because she was in one of Prince's bands. She was in the New Power Generation for a short time. And so I actually have a couple of Prince albums that she's part of. So I didn't know I knew who she was, but I do know who she is. And she's just so cute. And where this show wins is, like you said, with its charm and with its cleverness and its warm and fuzzies. So it is a show I would recommend, even though if you're a filmmaker, you'll be able to look at it and be like, they saved on budget right here. And look, this isn't good CGI. You know, there are some low budget things you can nitpick about it, but at the end of the day, it's just good, clean fun.
Yeah, you know, that was one of the things like that originally turned me off of it. Like was the visual effects. You know, they're subpar in ways. You know, especially compared to other things that come out today. You know, whenever you get used to seeing Westworld on HBO or anything on HBO with their, you know, a massive budgets, it kind of gets you, you know, focused on, oh, this is what sci-fi is supposed to look like, right? Even some video games today just have incredibly realistic visual effects. But they kind of saved money there and then and really just focused on the heart of it, the human characters. And I think, yeah, I agree completely. That's exactly where it gets you. It gets you with the characters that you really like. You'll like Nora, you like Nathan, you know, which are the two main characters, you know, and then, you know, the way it handles its characters, it's really smart. It's not just surface level, you know, with his relationship with his girlfriend, you think you know which way it's going, you know, with oh, she's just a very superficial woman who doesn't really think about things and is eventually going to maybe, who knows, we don't know what's going to happen, but it changes on you, you know, she grows on you, all these characters grow on you in ways that you didn't even expect. Even an AI character with certain red hair who is very silly and a constant source of humor does a great job in the show. And it's just, yeah, the cast of characters really carry this show absolutely through to the end. You know, and in the end, you know, at first I was expecting a high concept, very thoughtful science fiction piece that made me think about where our future was headed, you know, and certain technology that we have now that will eventually morph into something similar to this. And you know, in a way that, you know, Black Mirror makes me think, you know. And so I was really expecting that. And I didn't get it at first. And by the end of it, though, we stuck with it. And the characters grew on us, but then the world grew on us. The concepts it was pushing out there were really, they were broad. They weren't as focused, trying like Westworld is like, you know, do you ever question the nature of your reality? It's very focused, you know, on Westworld. But with Upload, it took a minute to really get there. But it does make you question things, you know, like how corporatized our world is, how capitalist our world is, and that even just to live forever, you know, humans want to live forever, right? You know, a lot of, you know, that's, at least people think that's what they want. And then you finally get that. But if you want to enjoy your life, if you want to eat food, or at least believe that you're eating food and taste it, you've got to pay $2.99, or at least hope someone out in the real world is able to pay for it for you, right? So it's a fascinating concept that it takes a while to get to because it focuses on characters first. And I think that's something that I really came to appreciate in retrospect, having finished it.
Well, that's to me one of the main reasons to watch this show is the clever imaginings of our near future and the small daily pitfalls and just, you know, sort of ubiquitous nature of the technologies that we'll have and how they affect, you know, what you do. Those are so fun to see, you know, played out in a TV show like that. Another reason to watch, we should mention, is a fantastic performance from one of the other customer service reps, a comedian named Zainab Johnson. She's really funny, right? She's like the best friend of Nora, who is the main female character in the show. And I hope to see her do more stuff because what a great performance she gave, you know, in her role. She's
great. Yeah, she's great comedic relief in the real world, whereas like, yeah, they balance comedic relief in the virtual world and the real world very well. But yeah, Zainab Johnson, she's great. Taylor and I actually, my wife, you know, we recently watched the show on Netflix called 100 Humans. It's a docu-series where they take 100 people from different aspects, all walks of life, and put them through these scientific tests. But in order to keep it fun, you know, they have comedians that sort of like host the show and interact with the people. And she's one of them. And that's where we first saw her. And then to see her in this was really refreshing. She's incredibly hilarious. And I think that she definitely was fun to watch. And just her interactions with Nora caused a lot of real world drama. So the entire drama and the comedy of the show doesn't take place just inside the virtual world. It's both. And I think it handles it incredibly well. And having people like her definitely helps.
I agree. Probably not. This show may not win any Emmys, but it's definitely fun to watch. And just like you, it's easy to see for someone who's a filmmaker or a visual effects, stickler, to sort of pick some things about this show apart. But at the end of the day, the charm, the clever futuristic scenarios, and the conflicts that you just wouldn't have imagined under this premise are what make this show work. And it was entirely fun. A great, like, bingeable show, right? One of these shows you can watch several of them back to back and not spend the entire evening on it. So I definitely give it some thumbs up.
Well, thank you so much, man, for coming here to talk to me again about Upload. I think this is our, fourth episode of Screen Time together. So I think
I don't lose count, but we were way overdue.
We have a lot more to catch up on.
For a jingle.
Oh.
Colby and Chris, Screen Time.
I was going to try to put up a lighter, but I don't have one, so.
That's okay. It's not worthy of a lighter, buddy.
To me, it is. Got me in the heart. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Chris. And I can't wait for the next one. We have to figure out what we're going to talk about, what we're going to bring to these people. I have some ideas that might be more short form content, but I'll let you know later. How about that?
Well, I think Fleabag is a good recommendation. I haven't watched that yet, but I've definitely heard some buzz about that show. So maybe we'll do that one.
I think that should be our next one, is Fleabag, actually. So if you haven't seen it, so not going to say anything about it. That's going to be our next one. How about that?
Got it. Perfect. Love it. Homework.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Chris. I'm going to let you get out of here. I've got to get back to doing my thing, but I want to wish you all the best. Hope that you can stay sane in all of this COVID-19 stuff while we're hopefully, it's finally, 3 months ago, we were like, it's going to be over soon.
Yeah. There's no end in sight, brother.
No end in sight.
Love you too, man.
Awesome.
Thanks, bro. I had a good time.
And thank you to everyone who's here watching. Thank you to all our subscribers, all of our fans. We couldn't do it without you, and we definitely couldn't do it without our sponsors, so thank you guys as well. All right, guys, we will see you on the next Prizecast next week. Have a good one.